Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome in. Happy to see you guys here tonight. And boy, like I mentioned in the chat a couple minutes ago, a little chilly down here in the basement. I did bundle up, Steve. Don't worry. I went up and got a nice quarter zip to throw on over my long sleeve shirt that I already had on, but I'm starting tonight's stream just a little bit bummed, and that's because unfortunately parts that I need in order to finish the second SD40-2 did not show up today. They made it all the way to Rochester, let's see, let me check the tracking, this evening. Oh no, they made it in to Rochester at 10:30 this morning, so they didn't make it onto today's mail truck. So unfortunately, there is no capability of finishing the SD40-2 tonight. I made the decision based off of that to go ahead and do a couple of things that are going to take a little bit longer to be finished on the 40-2. You can see, if I zoom in all the way, that we actually have a little bit of testers, clear parts cement, and window maker drying in the window frames. Unfortunately, I misplaced the stock Athearn windows, so I put in a layer of acetate behind the windows, and now working on getting the testers, clear parts cement, to dry in place so that I've got good looking windows. But that takes some time, especially in a basement that's 55 degrees. So we're kind of waiting on that as we work here. And that means that really there's not much progress to be made on the SD40-2 at all tonight. I will at least show it to you guys though, because something kind of exciting. I worked over the weekend on upgrading the lighting over top of the streaming setup. Those of you who were with us last week might recall that I was complaining about it a little bit. I've got what I did have over the workbench were some really cheap Harbor Freight lights, shop lights that really didn't render color very well. So those are now replaced directly over the workbench. I've actually kind of got this lit like a theater stage. I've got a key light directly overhead of the workbench. I've got two side lights on some, just basically track lighting like you'd find in a kitchen. And then I've got a backlight that's actually mounted underneath my underneath of my monitor. So the lighting is a lot more accurate now, which is great because you can actually see kind of what color things are and actually get a good sense of how things look. So here is the look of the SD40-2 as it stands right now. You can see some LEDs hanging off the end of it. You can actually see the color well enough that you can see Dennis's BNCCS decals showing back through in a few places. Those of you who might not have seen my post this week on Facebook might not know, but I fought with this thing quite a bit this week. I wasn't quite happy with the initial fade that I ended up with, and I kind of came to the realization that I wasn't really looking for a super faded locomotive. I was looking for a locomotive with really distressed paint. Like basically, GWT did not do, a young and inexperienced paint shop staff kind of cut corners with the first few locomotives that they were painting, and are paying the price 20 years later as the paint starts to kind of deteriorate and get distressed after 20 years of Western New York winters and hauling salt. So the paint underneath from the BNCCS, because they didn't bother to do good prep work, is showing back through, and the Genesee Wyoming paint on the top layer is really starting to look a little bit rough, especially on this side. I'm super happy with the way the logos turned out on this side, but I'm super happy with the way the paint kind of distressed on this side a little bit more. I think that this looks a little bit more realistic as far as distressed paint, but all of it worked out pretty well. I'm happy with how it's looking, but unfortunately, there's just not really a natural step forward that we can take on this right now. There's one thing I can do actually that just occurred to me, and it's not really that riveting, but I do just need to get the silver layer on the back headlights. So we can do that tonight. I'll honestly just do that really quick here. And then we'll get into the primary part of tonight's stream. We're gonna have some fun tonight. That's kind of the primary part of it, but you can see in the corner of the screen right now what our primary working subject is going to be for tonight, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to get this silver layer on quickly so that can start drying up and I can get the black layer on to prevent light bleed, and then we can go from there. Okay, silver's on. I'm gonna get this paintbrush clean, and then I'll say hi to everybody out there, and then we'll get into what we're working on tonight. Okay, all clean. Beauty of acrylics. I can just clean them with a little bit of water. Okay, let's see how everybody's doing out there tonight. Looks like Adam was in here first. Hopefully he's still awake. Well, hopefully he's doing whatever he needs to get good rest and whatnot, actually, honestly. Looks like Brandon was here. I saw a picture of his air filter in Discord. Looks like he got, as he said, he got his money was worth out of it. Dennis is here, and it looks like the undercarriage of the GP9's done. That's exciting. He'll be streaming after me, I think, tonight. I assume he's going after me tonight at 9. So hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of that GP9 project when he's streaming. Looks like Mitch is here. Welcome in, Mitch. Steve was here. Welcome in. Tim's here. Yep. 11 degrees in Perry. Nice and balmy after days hovering around 0 here in Western New York. Chambersburg is Western's here. Welcome in. And yeah, we're all caught up. Welcome in, everybody. Happy to have you here. Let's talk about what it is we're working on tonight, and that is a trio of Bethgon former coal hoppers. These are now going into scrap service on the GWT. So I've got them pretty much prepped for what I need to do, and I'm happy with how they're looking for the most part. Let me see, should I zoom in any more? Oh. I suppose I can zoom in a little bit. There's a little bit of hazing around the masking. I didn't do as good of a job masking as I really should have, to be honest with you. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to clean those up very well. Okay, Adam's awake, mostly. Awesome. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of the hazing off of there, but I don't have high hopes. My alternative plan is really just to eventually weather the heck out of these since they're in scrap service, and that'll kind of be the way I hide my my unfortunate errors in masking. I did also already go ahead and get the trucks painted and a little bit of weathering on. I probably should do another layer eventually, but we're gonna leave them as is for now. So the first order of business tonight, I'm actually gonna get these trucks back on because these cars do not like to stay on their sides. They like to flip up like that, and I don't want to. I want to avoid the stanchions breaking. So hopefully, if I can get the wheel sets back on, they can just rest on their wheel sets a little easier than they will on their sides. While I'm not working on them, at least. But the plan is to kind of have these at least clear coated with decals on prior to the RPM, just so that they can be a part of my rolling stock roster for there. If I have time, I might try to get one of them weathered. I would like to eventually also do prototype loads for these, or at least 2 of them. You know, kind of leave one empty, along with Dennis's B and CCS scrap gun that he so generously gave to me for my birthday, which I appreciate very much. Dennis did a really cool job of modeling an empty but not cleaned out scrap gun that will be really cool to kind of roll in as a empty gun during ops, which will be kind of cool. So maybe I'll try to replicate that with a GWTX high side gun as well. Dennis has at least 2 big fans. Oh man, that's exciting, Dennis. These wheel sets are very free rolling, and I'm apparently learning that my desk isn't 100% level, which is fun. I thought I had it pretty dang level when I built it, but I guess not. That's a bummer. The other reason for getting these put together now is that I just have the screws loose on the desk here, and I don't want to risk losing those because, you know, I'm pretty bad at losing things. Oh, I do have a screwdriver out already. Okay, perfect. But yeah, like I said, eventually these things will get nicely weathered up. For right now, I'm just, you know what? I'm kind of looking forward to having a project that I can get done in a reasonable amount of time, because maybe Dennis can relate to this because he was kind of saying something to the same effect earlier today. But you know, I've got so many long-term projects that I just am not able to complete right now, like the SD40-2 that there's parts in the mail for and aren't here. You know, it just feels good to be able to get a project done every once in a while. And I think these scrap guns are going to kind of be that project for me tonight. I'm going to get the decals on. I'm going to get a layer of Solvaset on them. And then hopefully I'm going to bring them over to the layout. We're going to run with them, because that's what I'm hoping I have time to do in the second half of tonight's stream, is actually run some trains, which will be fun. And then we can kind of go from there. Would love to put the new SD40-2 through its paces tonight, is really what I'd like to do. I got to run with it a little bit this past Saturday. I was over at my friend Mike's house with Darren, and we tested out his modules. I brought my SD40-2 that's already done along, and you know, kind of fully flushed out his modules ahead of the Rochester RPM, which was pretty fun. So, okay, so here's the thing with these. Now that we're ready to decal, I have no idea what numbering series I even want to go with on these. So, if anybody's got any suggestions, I'm all ears. What is the capacity on these? I could kind of go by capacity. It doesn't really say. Yeah, exactly, Chambersburg. Dennis, just direct message me about that ESU thing. Let's see. Montana Northern, welcome in. All right, so anybody have any suggestions for what we should do numbering series wise on these? I'm all ears. In the meantime, I'll kind of just get a couple of other things on these cars, just kind of because I can. So these are, the capacity on these is 4240. So should I do 4240, 4241, and 4442, or 40? Yeah. Should it be a 4200 numbering series? I guess that kind of makes sense. You're going to try and do a patch tomorrow night? That's fun. think, what do I want to do for the Circa logos on these? I wish I had more red ones left, because oxide red primer oxide red patches would be good. Maybe I'll just do plain Jane white. Yeah, I'll do plain Jane white on, oh, I don't, let's see, what do I got? Okay, I do have enough plain Jane white to do all 3 of them in the same one. So let's just plan on that. Oh, you guys gotta yell at me when I'm out of camera here. So the plan is for at least one of these to throw a Not Graffiti decal on there, but I really need other people out there to put some thought into their local taggers, so I can start tagging my cars with their local tagger, so that it shows that they're traveling around a little bit in the Circa pools. Sean, welcome in. Cool. Very cool, Brandon. All right, so swap over to this one. I just thought of something kind of fun that I might try for one of the cars. Totally not influenced by the fact that I just accidentally cut through one of the Circa decals. But I'm thinking what I might do is put a Not Graffiti patch on one of these and then re-patch over it with the oxide red Circa decals. That could be kind of fun, just to say that, you know, it was covering up one of the Circa decals, so somebody came back through and layered over the top of it. So we'll do that for sure. In the meantime, though, let's get some GWTX reporting marks off these sheets and into the water. Yeah, Chambersburg, I can definitely do that, for sure. I've mentioned it in there previously, but, you know, that group grows by the day, so it's, you know, always certainly possible that it's gotten missed once or twice. All right, so I guess I'll roll with the 4200 number series. Let's see. Thinking about what numbers I want to do within that series. I always like double numbers, which is why I've got so many double numbers on here. So let's go with, we'll go with 4244 on one of them. Oh, sorry, Dennis. I didn't see that anybody ask questions. How many does GWT own? That's a good question. I would say GWT owns probably no more than 20. You know, it's not a massive fleet. In this case, what I'm trying to replicate is the IRL Genesee Valley Transportation's scrap loadout in Batavia, New York. And there's a mix of company-owned scrap gons and miscellaneous others that are in and out of there. So the GWTX ones, as I'm trying to replicate that, aren't supposed to have made up the full fleet. So, you know, if somebody else has scrap gons in their freelance story, let's talk. Let's trade some decals, and I'll get some other Circa certified, Circa pool scrap gons going on the layout. Okay, so we've got what we need to do the first one in the water. Sean, I'm sorry if I didn't say good evening, but welcome in. Ooh, Enterprise is fun, Tim. I like that. A Star Trek reference, I'm assuming, in that case. All right, let's get some reporting marks on here. I should have put down... should have put down some... Oh, where is it? Oh, come on. 2 bottles of Microsol, but I can't see the microset anywhere. There it is. Hiding behind the Mod Podge. Oh, that was the steamboat on Canandaigua Lake. Okay, cool. Nice. All right. Since I'm applying these directly on an acrylic paint base, well, I did clear coat it once, but just am assuming it's going to be easier to maneuver about doing it this way. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the time tonight because I do really want to run some trains tonight. So if it ends up coming down to it that we can't fully finish these before we go run trains, then we won't fully finish these before we go run trains. I have a bunch of spare backdrop that has just been laying around, not being used from the main layout. So I actually put it up behind the Fremo modules, just so that I don't have bare concrete behind them, which I'm excited to show you guys. These do not move around well on acrylic paint at all. I probably should have done another layer of clear, it seems like. happy with that. Let's get some circle logos on this thing. And put that over here. Oop, might as well just actually use my microset since I got it out. Come on. There we go. So maybe somebody with more knowledge of, coal service might know. These have a build date of 1080 on them. I am curious how long most of these car types actually lasted in coal service to know when it would make sense for GWT to be picking them up. Hopefully, it makes sense for them to be picking them up in, the pre-2005 time frame, because that's when they would be getting picked up for me. $50 years? No, that can't be quite right, because there's a ton of these rolling around in scrap service now, and 1080 would not be 50 years. Oops, I thought that was reporting marks, but it's the Circa decal, so I guess we're putting that on. Oh, that's cool, Adam. That could be a group of taggers. Matthew Goodchild, good evening to you. Welcome in. Some CR Bethcons, gotcha. Perfect, Mike. Welcome in, by the way. Happy to see you. Glad you're able to catch one live. Hope you're doing good. You gonna make it up for the RPM, Mike? Hope to see you there. Gotcha, Brandon. Awesome, Mike. Oh, I forgot to put down the microset. Whoops. For some reason, this side seems to be maneuvering better anyway. Absolutely. Rock RPM is just a couple of weeks away now, which reminds me I still have a couple of things that I need to do in my organization committee capacity. I've been tasked with calling a couple of different sub places to inquire where we can get the best deal on sub platters for everybody that's getting lunch. Which, maybe it's a good thing to remind people, if you pre-register, there's an option for lunch for $10, which, honestly, I got a feeling we're really going to be paying more than $10 a plate for lunch. So it's probably going to be a pretty darn good deal. But we'll see. Okay. I think I'm happy. Let me just make sure that those look straight. I think I have to double check, but I think there's technically like 2 slots left for my op session. If anybody is interested in coming and going to that on Saturday evening. But you do have to pre-register in order to go to those, presuming that they will sell out over the next, or the op sessions will fill up over the next 2 weeks. I should also mention that we decided that February 17th is going to be the registration deadline for pre-registrants. So that won't mean that you can't go if you don't pre-register. That'll just mean that your options for food are severely limited, as we won't be able to have lunch on property for you on Saturday, unfortunately. Okay, everything is pretty much straight on that. I'm happy with how that's looking. So I'm going to set that one off to the side, let those dry a little bit, and we will get some Solvaset on those. I'm going to do the ends of these later because they are sort of different colors. I can use my normal black decals on this side, but I have to either mask off the black end with a white patch similar to these, or I need to actually have white decals to do the ends of these. And I don't have white decals in my font. So I have to basically debate whether or not the ends are going to be in GWTX's font, or if they're going to be a little bit different than normal GWTX rolling stock would be. You decided to backdate to the 70s with BVRR now, Mitch? Oh my goodness. Banu, welcome in. Happy to see you, my friend. Banu, Brandon, and I are really excited. We just got an invite to go operate at Bruce Ryan's layout. Oh, I gotta put my GWT logos on the one car that I thought I finished. Let me get those on real quick. So I'll be headed back down there in about a month's time to go operate down there with them, which is pretty cool. Bruce is always so kind with his time and his invites for op sessions. And I always like to make sure I get new friends down there every time I go, just because I firmly believe that everybody that likes operations needs to experience that layout at least once in their life. I think I've mentioned it before on Talkin' Trains, but that is probably the single best operating experience I think I've ever had. You know, it's something that I strive for on my own layout, but honestly don't even have the ability to reach right now. His track work is just so much smoother running than mine. So it's hard for me to even compete, being that my track work is down and I'm fully committed to Atlas, basically. But if something goes wrong on that layout, it's because you made a mistake. It is not because his layout is the problem. His documentation is also flawless, nice and clear and concise. It's a pleasure to operate that layout, that is for sure. I am realizing, maybe I'll get your opinions on this out there. I'm realizing that with the black and white logos, which are supposed to be what's on all of my freight cars, the black obviously does not show up well on a black freight car. So that could be a bit of a problem, because I don't really have a logo small enough to do it on like the orange portion, but I do want my GWT logos on it. So should I go back and do the full color logos on these? I was only planning on ever doing full color logos on the, geez, you dingleberry, Paul. I just had my hand right in these numbers. Yeah, should I do the full color logos on these? My plan was to only ever have the full color logos on the D and H cars because they've been around for a while. These ones have not been around very long. I don't know, would they even bother to do a gray patch though, Dennis? In all honesty, like, are they really gonna care that the logo blends in? I guess I kind of just answered my own question. On a freight car, I don't know that they really care that the logo necessarily blends in. So I think I'll just roll with these. A gray patch just for the company logo seems like a lot of work. The reason these are black and white is because the idea is that on freight cars, which are, depreciating assets, in theory, you don't want to spend the money on color graphics and everything, but maybe GWT is still too proud to not put their logo on it. Which actually, and I'll let me go grab the car that's kind of inspiring these, because I am working off of a loose prototype reference. Hang on. I could mask off the logo for part of the fade, yeah. Let's see. There it is. So, these are the company-owned freight cars that the prototype GVT gets in all the time. These are Delaware, Lackawanna, Western is the reporting marks, and technically they're Mohawk, Adirondack, and Northern cars, which is another GVT-owned property, but they show up in Batavia on the Delaware, Lackawanna, Western all the time. So basically I'm trying to replicate this sort of vibe as best I can. Yeah, Tim, they learned the lesson from the giant logo they put on the Salt cars. Just like they learned the lesson on another early paint job with the SD40-2s that, the paint is deteriorating after, after 20 years. So that's kind of the idea. That's loosely what I'm trying to capture the essence of in these freight cars. So, it's all black and white. There's no color there. In that case, there's no patch out, but these are going to be pre-owned cars. I'm assuming that those were bought brand new for MANN. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're getting at. And I think this does a good enough job. I think I'm happy with that. All right, let's circle back to the one we're just working on. Do the logos on that one now before I forget about it. Now we've got to come up with a different 4200 number for this one. So if anybody's got any suggestions, maybe I'll take suggestions from the chat. What are we numbering these last two? 4200, and then I need suggestions for the last two numbers in the series. Like I said, I think the idea is going to kind of be that there's about 20 of these in service, and they are 4240 is the start of the series. So anything between 4240 and 4260 would make sense. Hey Ted, welcome in. Happy to see you. hopefully anybody that was getting a little bit tired of the music choices will rejoice that I've got, I don't know, 6 or 7 Brandon new songs in the mix for tonight. So hopefully it doesn't seem as repetitious. 42-42. I don't know. I just did 42-44, so I feel like I need to. Do like one in the 50s and one. Well, it would be one in the 50s. No, we're not getting up as 6-7. Oh, don't laugh too hard, Brandon. I can tell the story. Well, we know it's for sure going to be 42 is the first two, so I'll get those cut out. Keep going with suggestions. With respect to Banu, I think I'm going to not do 42-42. I could do like the class car and do 42-40 maybe for one of them. $42 is the answer. Yep, absolutely. The meaning of life. Yeah, Mitch, it would lock into the 2000s, and I would also not be putting that on any of my free cars. Yeah, okay, Brandon wants me to tell a story. Okay. So, Springfield, we all stayed in the same hotel, and we all played a game called Flip 7, which it's a really fun game. Manu brought it with him, and it's a card game with numbered cards. So Brandon, at the end of a round, picked up the 6 and the 7 cards while Banu was recording him with his phone, and lifted them up in the air and yelled 6-7 and did the thing real quick. But Brandon didn't realize that he put the cards up in reverse. So he was actually doing 7-6 as he was trying to be a goofy guy. The Dennis did miss out. You were having your own fun, though. Let's be real, Dennis. Okay, so I've got the 42 in there. Did I do 2 42s this time? Or do I just have the one? Okay, I gotta do one more 42. All right, what do we got for numbers here? Folks, let me hear the numbering suggestions. We've got 42-44 so far. And anything between 42-40 and 42-60 is up for grabs. You were having normal scale fun? You know, you got to stop calling it normal scale though, because we're given the S scalers some ammo to call that standard scale. And I don't know that I like that idea. Although wasn't it, now that I think about it, I might have just sounded a little dumb. Wasn't S scale originally standard gauge? I think. Yeah, Ted, these are gonna get a fade. It's honestly, I'm probably gonna go the shortcut route on these and just use my fading acrylic that I use through the airbrush, just because it's white and these are black cars, and that's about all you need to do with these. But they will eventually get faded. For tonight, the plan is to just get decals on them, and then hopefully, which I am now realizing that we're spending too much time yapping, but hopefully we're going to get over to the main layout, or over to the Fremo modules, and do some operating. So 4253, Dennis says. We can do that for sure, Dennis. Absolutely. Oh, that's right. Yeah, standard gauge. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay. Okay. Got all of our 2s. I think I'm missing 3s still. Get those in. Okay. So that should be everything I need for this car. Yes, standard gauge is bigger than G. Right. I do recall that now. So I guess maybe we're not giving him as much ammo. Although I guess the argument could be made, Dennis, that normal scale would just be 1-to-1. Two and a half inch track. Okay, interesting. Thanks, Bill. Welcome in, by the way. Happy to have you. I'm going to try to hopefully slightly pick up the pace here. Hopefully I can still do a good enough job. Okay. Need a 4. And a 2. Come on. Oh, picked up the 4 with my finger. So, I actually, man, I'm a little late asking, but would love to know what everybody else has got on their workbenches tonight and what everybody's working on. This is, after all, talking trains. It's not just me talking about trains, it's everybody. Oh, that's cool, Dennis. All right, let me just Bonner's building structures, awesome. Tim's working on his Buffalo Creek car. That's, oh, just finished his Buffalo Creek car. That's exciting. Looks good in Discord. Brandon's paint patching, awesome. All right. logo. Almost put that on upside down. Enough. Nope. There we go. How quickly we went from using the micro set to using the micro set for a completely different purpose. Sometimes that stuff works out well, sometimes I just don't bother using it. Oh, I might be short my GWTX markings for this side of the car. Yep, I am short the GWTX markings. All right, let me get those on real quick here. All right. Mike, these were UFI X cars to start. Yep. Hey Ray, welcome in. We are working on the initial additions to the Genesee, Wyoming transportation scrap fleet, as you can see. Okay. All right. Start thinking about new numbers there, everybody. Anybody that's just joining in like Ray, numbering series is 4240 to 4260. So we need numbers within that range. We've got 4253 on this one and then 4244 on the other one. So we need one more number. I'm happy to number it for a suggestion out of the chat if we find a good one. All right, I think I'm happy with how that's looking. Set that off to the side to dry a little bit. $42.35. Oh, so close, Ray. Okay, so in the 2000-2006 range. All right, so in 2005, it makes sense that these would be coming over to scrap service. So that's good, perfect. Sean says 42.59. All right, we'll go with 42.59. The first one I did was 42.44, so I just wanted to kind of have them spread out a little bit. So I don't think I'm going to do 42.42. But yeah, we'll do the 42.59. Closest without going over wins. All right, well, Sean's one off the max, so Can't remember if these are larger than these. Yeah, they must be. Yeah, eventually these will hopefully, you know, whenever I finally find time, these will get weathered, and I would love to do prototype loads for a couple of them as well. I did mention that earlier in the stream, but got a couple of new viewers since then, so just thought I'd reiterate it. I did when I posted this. When I posted that this is what we were working on tonight, I got a couple of people already commenting, "You better weather them," and I was like, "They'll get done eventually." All right. No, Garrett. Just no. These Gen Z guys really know how to get under a millennial skin. All right, we got that. Now it's time for numbers. 42. Five. If I didn't just mangle that 6, I would have just used the 6 and turned it around for a 9, but I mangled it. Hand motions intensify. All right, one more set of numbers. I've almost used every 4 on the sheet. I think this is actually, oh, there's one more individual 4. And then I'm into the double numbers. 4. 2. 5. And we'll just steal this 6. Use that as a 9 since it's right there and already halfway cut out of the sheet. Okay, so we're good there. Next order of business, this is going to be the one that we do uniquely, where we ended up with a not graffiti tag over top of the circle logo. So I'm going to go back over the not graffiti tag with a new circle logo. Maybe, yeah, we're going to get a little crazy with this, actually, I think. We're going to do, well, does it make sense? Maybe it doesn't make sense. Let's see. We're gonna go. We'll go plain white for the not graffiti on this. And then I just need to figure out how it's gonna fit on the sheet or on the car to know where I have to cut between the letters. So we're talking right here. There's not really a natural... Okay. So I think the N and the G are going to be on one side of this rib. And we're going to go OT and RAF. Yeah, okay. Okay, NG. Let me just double check that the RAF is going to fit. Yes. And then the feety, part of graffiti, is going to be what's over top of the old Circa logo. So that'll get covered up itself as well. In the meantime, though, let's get started on all of the decals that we need to do here. Yeah. Italians is definitely what I think of as well when I hear hand motion intensifies. Okay. Let's get our reporting marks on here. GW. Oh no, I folded over the decal. Son of a gun. Come on, unfold. Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh. Matt, welcome in. Ay, ay, ay. You know, usually I go back and rewatch my streams just to make sure I didn't miss any comments. I don't know if I'm going to bother this time with all this 6-7 nonsense. Okay, 42. My paint for the patch doesn't seem to want to hold up very well here. Okay, so I think on this side I'm gonna do the normal Circa patch, or the Circa logo like I did on the other cars, and then it'll be the other side that I do the not graffiti tag out. So I just need one more small white Circa. In that case. And then I just gotta get these adjusted here. Make sure that they're relatively straight. Actually, that's pretty good. Okay. Circle logo on. That looked pretty good. Yep. Okay. Last side. Last side of the last car. Woo! Then we'll go run some trains. Whatever time we've got left. Okay, there's the GW. Here's the TX. Oh, that's her meme. That's a good outlook. That's a good outlook, Billy. I like it. Get some numbers on here. 5. There's my 9. Two. 4. Just find it easier to make sure that they're looking like a relatively straight line when I'm looking at it vertically. Okay, happy there. Let's get our not graffiti tag on. Okay, so the N and the G are on this side of the rib. Ot, Raf are on this side. And then E. Fold it over on itself. Over here. This is a perfect car for the white, not graffiti stencil. Maybe if I've got time before the Sydney RPM, this will be what I send with your Ray. This would be fun. Put a prototype scrap load in there, weather it up. We'll see if I've got time. Okay, that looks pretty good. Beauty of the not graffiti is that it's a stencil that's supposed to have been put on pretty haphazardly, so kind of makes sense when it's not on there perfectly. And then I'm going to go with the small oxide red primer stencil for the replacement circle logo. Yes, the graffiti is saying it's not graffiti, Billy. That's, yep. That's, so, this is my my local tagger's surrealist moniker. It's like the I don't know if you're familiar with the painting that says "This is not a pipe." and it's a picture of a pipe. So basically same idea here where I'm saying this is not graffiti, but it's a tag by a graffiti artist. So it's a way to put some thought into a local tagger for your freelance short line. And I'm hoping that we kind of get a few more folks thinking about their own freelance taggers here, which I think we've got plenty of people thinking about it at this point. Just need to get some more people making their own taggers. Yeah, mind blown. Perfect. Then job done. But yeah, I'm hoping we get some more people creating decals for their own local taggers for sure. Okay, I'm gonna get a layer of Solvaset on the two cars that are dry. I'm gonna leave this one because I don't want to put Solvaset on it yet. Just want to give it a little bit more time to dry. And then we'll take the two cars that are dry and bring them over to the layout, and we'll run some trains for the last, 15-ish minutes of the stream. You have what you're working on? Oh, Garrett, did you get in contact with Iowa Scaled Engineering today? Poor Garrett was fighting with proto throttles yesterday, not interfacing with his NCE base station. Older proto throttles that are like first gen probably. I will come back and do additional layers of Solvaset on these eventually, but 03, yes, does. All four of the X-Con rails do. Oh, that's what you're working on? That's exciting, Garrett. Okay. Ooh, that was way too much. Gotcha. I would understand that. I mean, it's understandable that they may have not gotten back to you just yet. Okay. All right, I'm gonna bring these over to the layout, get a couple of things set up real quick, and we're gonna run some ops. So does anybody know if it's possible to turn down the volume or turn off the volume on these reefer cars that have sound in them from Athearn? Because, man, that thing is loud. I can't even hear myself think down here. All right. Let me get to my mobile camera, or my mobile live setup over here. Plastic wheels. Well, I would have to fully take out the trucks. Ideally, I'd like to be able to turn it back on and back off again. So. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I think they are technically tsunami decoders in there, like resistor in line with the speaker. Okay, cool. Oops, one extra honk on the horn, but oh well. All right. Whoa. Holy cow. Garrett, this Pro Cab for some reason likes to jump right to 128 speed steps sometimes, and that's exactly what just happened there. All right, so we've got 5 cars for our quick little ops here. I think we're gonna jump over and do the team track first. These 2 cars are going to be for the team track. We're saying, so the team track actually gets more than scrap loads. It does on occasion actually get, actually I can pull up further than that. It does actually on occasion get, oh my goodness, did it again. It does get fertilizer loads on occasion. And you know what? It would also make sense that on occasion it's getting a load of salt for Genesee County, so. There's a manual volume control on the board inside, okay. And Dennis, of course, just finished setting up his stream, it looks like, so like I said, we'll hop right over there at 9 o'clock for sure. Need to replace the pot, okay. So you're officially looking at the new orientation of track over here on the Fremo layout. Oops, why did that didn't quite make the transition there for some reason. Volume access through the underframe, okay. No underframe access, but I'll have to see if I can get inside and do it. For now, I'm just gonna set that off to the side because I can't hear myself think with that thing running. But yeah, this is the new orientation of track. This is Batavia Junction here, which will, in the freelance lore, connect to the former Erie Railroad Batavia branch, and head down to Alexander, New York, where there's a Cargill feed that's closed in real life, but in my lore will have stayed open, or in 2005 it was open anyway in real life. So GWT will be the operator of that, and then also continues further south down to Attica, New York, where they're able to interchange with Norfolk Southern as well. So happy to have this junction in because it is, you know, part of the GWT lore as far as that's concerned, and makes the Fremo modules in theory a little bit more usable as far as Fremo meets are concerned. 16 feet is a lot of modules to bring to a meet with no other uses. So hopefully this makes them a little bit more useful. I don't have these set up for proto throttle use yet. I want to get the other one done. I really need to just sit down and speed match everything that I have so that it's all consistent and all ready to use on proto throttles. Plan is to have everything for the freelance roster, everything for the main layout, all kind of done, so that they're all kind of interchangeable, all speed match consistently and whatnot. The only thing that does bug me a little bit about the change in track, so this used to be the turnout where the scrap siding came off. The orientation actually makes a little bit more sense that it's back further, but because it's a late edition, I don't have a tortoise on this, so it's a manually thrown switch. I unfortunately don't have any manual focus control on anything, but I can move the gimbal around a little bit, Paul. Speed matching is a tough ordeal. Paul was actually gracious enough to lend me his speed, the AccuTrack, I think is what it is, speed monitor, so that I could do speed matching, and I literally never got around to it until the point he actually asked for it back, and I got nothing done. So I think I'm just gonna eventually buy my own and sit down and do it. But right now, everything for the main layout other than 1703 is already speed matched, so I can kind of twiddle my thumbs and wait to do it at least. So let's see, let's be careful of our time here. 8 more minutes. But when I did the change in trackage, I was also able to make the scrap siding longer, which is nice. So there's a little bit more capacity there, which is pretty cool. It's really okay, Paul. If anything, what I'll do is I'll just ask you for it when I am ready to do the speed matching. Otherwise, it's just going to sit here and collect dust again, and you won't have an item that is very much rightfully yours. So let's plan on doing it that way. That way I'm not holding on to your AccuTrack way longer than I need to. Oh, that is weird, Billy, for sure. Well, actually, Tim, I think I'm going to end up shorting out the layout if I'm not careful. I think what I eventually want to do is get one of the. Oh, wow! I never actually coupled up to that. Scrap gone. Okay, cool. But yeah, I think eventually what I want to do is get one of those rolling roads that I think Ray definitely has one of them. He was the one that kind of introduced the guy at the St. Louis RPM. So eventually I'd like to get one of those for my own use. All right, so let's see if I can. Ooh, I don't want to make you guys seasick, but there's mobile chat on the phone. Heading back around out of the siding and onto the main. You can see I now have backdrop, spare backdrop from the main layout all the way down to the end of modules here. Just so that there's not, boring gray cement behind the layout. It's nothing fancy. eventually I do really want to go shoot backdrops in Batavia so that I can actually have, you know, the real backdrops for that area behind the Fremo modules, since this is kind of their semi-permanent home. Oops, oh, I just threw the wrong turnout. That's gonna be a mess. Are we Tokyo drifting, or did I get away with it? Nope, didn't get away with it. All right. Good now? Yes. Dale has the Bachmann rollers. Nice. So the cool thing about the ones Ray has is that you can actually directly connect it with your DCC and actually run your lock programmer off of that. There's a speed monitor in there, which is kind of cool as well. Forgot to put that back down the rails. Oh yeah, really realistic operations now, right? Dennis is off to set up a stream. All right, see you over there in a few minutes, Dennis. Pretty happy so far with how the SD40-2 is running. Hopefully the other one runs just as smoothly as this. I know that's not a guarantee with Athearn Ready to Roll engines, so I'm grateful that it seems to have gone smoothly with both of them. I am a little nervous with 32 though when I go to do the wiring that I may have unfortunately, whoops, sorry to shake you guys. I may have unfortunately ruined the light board, and I might need to get a replacement for that. I was actually taking it off the Decoder Buddy main board in order to do a little bit of work on it, and I bent the pins on the main board, and then when I went to go put it back on, I didn't realize that I had the pins bent and forced it down, and some of the pins, some of the solder ripped out, and I think I might have taken the traces with it. I tried to resolder it, and I haven't tried to actually install anything yet, lighting wise, but I'm hoping I was able to resolder them, but I am not. I'm not thinking that I'm going to be very lucky with it. That's cool, Mitch. I'll check that out as soon as the stream's done for sure. Oh, wow, we weren't connected there. Interesting. The other thing that's annoying with the sound car is that I scrubbed those wheels. They should be squeaky clean, but still, even with the pickup working fine on my locomotive, that keeps cutting in and out. Yeah, maybe it's just not the pins I'm using. We'll see. I'm not too familiar with how those are set up to know for sure, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? This Allagash and this Farland terminal car still definitely need to get weathered as well. I have noticed that I am a very chaotic weatherer, though, that's for sure. All right, I'm going to get these last two cars backed into place here. And while I do, you guys can feel free to head over to Dennis's stream. I appreciate you guys all watching. We'll be back next week. hopefully with one last ditch effort to get things wrapped up before the RPM. And I'll see you then, for sure. Take care, everybody.